Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn some comparisons. So assume that we have a student and the student has a score. And if that score is more than 60, then the student passes the class. If it's less than 60, then the student fails. Now let's the code that corresponds to this problem. So we have an if statement. If score, which is 70 in this case, right, is more than 60. So in this example we are comparing number to a number. Score is currently containing 70, so we are checking whether 70 is more than 60. So you might have seen this in math that checks whether the left side is bigger than the right side. In this case it is true. So the if statement will be replaced by true. Okay, we have just determined the overall condition of this statement, right? So this will be true. So if the score is more than 60, then we print out the student passes the class. So we should have an else statement too, because if it is less than or equals to 60, the student fails. Let's say the student fails the class. Okay. When I save it, the student passes the class, because as I did show you before, 70 is more than 60. So this is basically what you have seen in math. If the left side is bigger than the right side, this thing returns true. So overall condition is true. Then we print out this statement and we skip this else statement. Now let's change our example a little bit. If let's say the score is more than or equal to 60, so in this case 60 is also a valid point. So I'm just trying to explain the difference between this and this. So this basically means that if the left side is more than the right side, then the overall condition will true. And this basically means that if the left side is more than or equals to the right side, then the overall condition is true. So the only difference is that in this one, in the right one, we are also checking whether the two numbers are equal to each other too. So the score is 70. 70 is more than or equals to 60. True. What if we set our score to be 60? It would still get true. The student passes the class. But if I delete this equality symbol, as you can see, the student fails the class, because score is not more than 60. It is equal to 60. That's why the student fails. So we have just seen these two syntaxes. Now let's see this one and this one. And now I'm gonna compare those two. Okay, this one and this one. So this one basically means that if the right side is more than the left side, then the overall condition will be true. Okay, now let's change the order of these two things, and let me type it. So okay, now let's set the score to be 80. So what do we have? If 60 is less than score, so as you can see, we have changed the order of these two statements, because this thing is exactly the opposite of this one. So these two are basically the exact opposite of each other. This one basically checks that whether the left side is more than the right side. This one basically checks that whether the right side is more than the left side. And if those conditions are met, then the overall condition of that if statement will be true. So in this case, score is 80. 80 is more than 60. The overall condition is true. So as you might guess, this thing, okay, so basically this thing means that if the right side is more than or equals to the left side, So score is currently 8. 80 is more than or equals to 60. So the overall condition is true. If I set this score to be 60, if I put score in here, the student still passes the class because 60 is more than or equals to 60. But if I change this to 70, oops, I changed the wrong thing. But if I change this to be this thing, as you can see, I deleted the equality sign. The student fails the class because score will be replaced by 60. 60 is not more than 60, they are equal. So it is false. Okay. Now we have seen these 4 different things, and we are just gonna see these 2 ones. These are just the remaining ones. Okay, so up until now, what we have seen is that we have only seen one equal sign, right? What I mean is that we have only seen this thing. So when do we use this? We use this when we want to assign the right side of the equation to the left side. So as you can see in here, we assign 70 to be our score. So the score is currently containing 70. Now we are gonna see these 2 equality signs together. So this means that we are checking whether the left side of the equation is equal to the right side. So let's say you want to detect whether the student got an exact 100. The score is 100. So if the score is exactly 100, then we print out the score is 100. If it is not exactly 100, then the score is not 100. Okay. So how can we do that? We can do that by telling if the score is equals to, as you can see, this means equality, if the score equals to 100. So the score is currently containing 70. So 70 is not equal to 100. Pay attention that there is 2 equality signs, not 1. So 70 is not equal to 100. Therefore, this if statement overall condition is false. And we enter the else statement. If I set this to be 100, let's say, as you can see, we print out that the score is 100. So that's it for this equality sign. Now let me tell you the difference between this equality sign with this one. So these are 2 different things which do the same stuff but in a different ways. So these 2 both mean equality. So they both check whether the left side is equal to the right side. But this 3 equal sign together means that there is strict equality. So what I mean is that this one, the 3 equal signs together, checks whether the left side is equal to the right side as well as the data types. However, this 2 equality sign checks that whether the left side is equal to the right side, and that's it. This one doesn't check whether they are both the same data type. So what I mean is that if we type score in here, as you can see, the score is 100. The score is 100. 100 is equals to 100. If I put this one in here, 3 equality signs together, when I save it, it's still true. Why? The score is containing the number 100, right? This one is a number. So I replace it by 100. This 100 is also a number. So we are comparing a number and a number. And then we are also checking whether they are equal to each other. Yep. Oops. They are equal to each other. 100 is equal to 100. Therefore, the overall condition is true. And let me make this 2 equality signs, okay? And then replace the second one with a string 100. Then guess what? What will happen? When I save, as you can see, it prints out the score is 100. So that's a bit weird. If you have been learning another computer languages, that might feel a little bit weird, because this is a number, right? and this is a string. So this equal sign checks whether the value of those two stuff is equal. So 100 is equals to string 100 because the string 100 is containing the value 100 inside it. But if I change this to 3 equal signs together, then we get the score is not equals to 100. Why? Because the strict equality also checks whether the data types are equal, which is not true in this case. This is 100 and number 100. This is a string 100. So this will be replaced by false. And therefore we enter this else statement. These are really important to know. So this distinction is really important. And you can also compare two strings too with this equality sign too. So let's make it an ABCD. I mean, as you can see, the score is 100, so you can compare string to a string. So in this case, it also works too. You can compare string to a string. And one more thing, let me change to 99, and then there is actually a rule that states that if a number is not equals to 0, then that number will be treated as true. So if that number is equals to 0, that number will be treated as false. So what I mean is that, so I can put just a number inside this if statement. If I put 1 in here, so 1 is not 0, right? So it is not equals to 0. So this one actually will be treated as a boolean true. So when the overall condition inside this if statement is true, we print out this. So as you can see, it says the score is 100. But if I put 0 in here, okay, we are not comparing anything. We are just putting numbers in here. As you can see, the score is not equals to 100 because 0 will be treated as false. I can put 1000 in here, so that 1000, will be treated as true too. If I put minus 1000, it will be still treated as true. If this is equals to 0, then it will be treated as false. So that's another thing to know. So by knowing this rule, you can write mathematical expression inside this if statement. So what I mean is that, let's say score multiplied by 10 divided by 3. You can write a mathematical expression like this. So unless it is not 0, it will be treated as true. So what I mean is that if this thing is not equals to 0, then it will be treated as true. So as you can see, the score is 100. So the score is containing currently 100. 100 multiplied by 10 is 1000. 1000 divided by 3 is 333. It goes like that, infinity till the infinity. So this is not 0, right? So this will be treated as true. So the overall condition is also true. But if I put, let's say, 0 in here, oops, we get false. Why? Because 0 multiplied by 10 is 0. 0 divided by 3 is also 0. So what's left is 0. 0 will be treated as false. And that's it for this video. I hope you get it. Says score is 80. As you can see, this one checks whether the left side is more than the right side. These are really important to know, and I'm pretty sure you are going to use them a lot. And you should know that the distinction between this and this and this and this. You should also know the distinction between this and this, and also with this. So there are a lot of rules, but once you understand the logic behind it, I'm pretty sure you are gonna understand the rest of it pretty easily. So that's it for this video. If you have any question, please leave a comment and have a great day.